Hey guys, I'm back home. Finally, I'm committed to doing these vlog things, at least till 30 anyway. I think this is number 26, but I'm at home and I'm doing what I call the pre-clean. So basically cleaning the car up, getting all the rubbish out, so I can take to the detailers and they can do a real good job of it and see what scratches they can get out. Moving around this side as I was looking in the sun. First thing I do when I come back from a trip is grab the sprinkler, put it under the caravan, put it under the car and just move it every, 5 minutes or so. So while that's happening, before I can really get stuck into it, this video is going to be about the things that went well. I'm also talking about the vehicle, the car and the caravan, the things that went well and the things I could have done better, because I made a conscious decision to lighten the load as much as possible, and I think I went a little bit too light in some points. I bought some tools and did this and that, so I'm going to go through, as I'm pulling everything out of the car, probably the things that I would change. Now, to finish off from the last sort of vlog, how I got home. So if I go back a few days ago, we couldn't go into Adelaide without getting COVID testing, and we didn't want to do that, so we were going to go via Birdsville, couldn't do that. So anyway, we ended up going, stuff this, let's just go do Glasshouse Mountains, which we did. That was epic, something to remember. I swear, if I was in that middle, after I got winched up that spot and I couldn't go backwards because had to get winched up there, and then there was that epic drive forwards, if someone like rang me right then and said, I'll helicopter your car out of that track for 10 grand, I would have got my credit card out, because that was just huge. Must have been there at the top. I'm so glad I stuck in, because it was such an awesome thing to achieve, and there's lots more to achieve at Glasshouse, so I'll just let the nerves calm down before I go back and do that again. So the way we got home, at the last day, just before we were about to leave, after we got back from that Glasshouse Mountain trip, we rang up again and they said, you can actually go straight through New South Wales, don't stop, don't talk to anyone, no COVID testing, you can go straight home. Yes, gone. Straight through New South Wales to Werget, I think it was. Camped on a free camp there around nobody. Got up next day, went through to Cockburn, which the locals abbreviate it, Coburn. I wonder why. And got up that next morning and went on to the border and did all the border checks. They tried to get us to do the COVID testing, and we explained it all, and we got through without doing COVID testing. So that's great. Cliffy can go to work, no problems there. Oh, damn flies. They're here too. Man, it's hot here. It's like 40, and it's a dry heat. Such a contrast to where we come from. Still flies though. All right, the gear. This fridge gave me issues the whole way, and I think it's because it's not in a cabinet. When I had all this area loaded up, sorry about the rubbish, I've just been vacuuming and stuff. By the way, this carpet is so easy to vacuum. Nissan carpet is horrible. I've spent, 15 minutes on, that. I probably spent 3 minutes on here and the other 12 on there, and I just can't get the sand out of the Nissan carpet. Stupid thing. Anyway, but this fridge, it just, when you put stuff around the back of it, it gets hot. It obviously can't breathe, and there was stuff piled up all over it, and it just struggled to keep my everything cool. So I'm convinced that we need to have a cabinet around here, so I'll get one of them built up. Probably make it like a modular product, so you can just buy the cabinet if you've already got the floor, and it will go on top, already ready for this drawer. And then the other thing was, when I was stuck and needed winching and my winching gear, I had my snatch straps like down there, so the passenger could grab them, throw them out the window and go. But all my winch recovery gear was back here, and I was tipped up, so it was hard to get to. So I'm convinced that I do need to have a drawer on top of this fridge. I'm going to halve it, half coming this way for stuff, tools, whatever. The other half is going to be open from the inside of the car. So someone inside the car can grab my winch gear, hand it out the window, and, because we spent a good while looking for extra pulleys and straps and stuff like that. I'm going to develop that cabinet. Oh, and then for people that have a travel buddy, it'll sit on top about here somewhere. Time to move the sprinkler, I think. There we go. Now, this is all the stuff I just pulled out of my car. I know it's a mess, but I've never hidden anything from you guys before. I'll talk, there's some other parts that have rocked up. I'll show you that in a minute. Right, this thing was a huge improvement. Let's zoom out a bit. This thing was a huge improvement. It's alloy, it's light, it doesn't take up much room. However, you can't fit a soft shackle through it. You have to use a D shackle. So I'm actually going to retire this, and I'm going to go and speak to those guys at Sabre and get one of those Sabre donuts where you can use soft shackles with them. Pulleys, I only brought one pulley with me because I was lightening the load. I should have had two because we did do that double line pull and we needed two pulleys and I had to borrow one from someone else. This could have been used more often and in a more accessible spot, but I need to get at least another one of them because, it's just something lacking. The carbon winch stuff, that did great. I need to clean it a bit more often and probably get a few more monkey fists. That was good. The compressor, I haven't had time to put a hard mount compressor in, so I just got this one. And I can swap it between the Navara. But the hose died, split. If I was, by myself, that would have been a problem. Although you can repair them, and I did. Funnily enough though, both Ilya and I melted the hose because we both had the same compressor that we were using on this trip, as in two different ones. He had one, I had one. And I was airing up my car, and then I got to like the third tyre on the van and the hose melted. Ilya had a spare, because Ilya's got spares of everything, gave me his hose, and within 5 minutes, the same thing happened to him airing up his 37s on the last wheel. So those hoses either need to be improved or need to carry spares, or both. Whilst we are looking around the garage, there were some deliveries. Check this out. This is what I wanted to come before. This is a new lower control arm that I've been working on. I'll flip it around. So just a few little tricks we're making here. So this is for the front. They're color coded, so each prototype's a different color. And I reckon this will look all right on my blue Hermosa car. So yeah, we've got vulcanized bushes, which we want, the CV guards. We've moved this around a bit to get the geometry a bit better and raised up where the bump stop, so you can still use the factory bump stop in that position, but it will be a bit higher. And done a couple of other little things, like we've lowered this and just to give more clearance around the CV boot. But that's something I want to be putting on my car soon. I guess probably other companies, when they're doing the R&D, they like keep it all tight and locked down. I don't know, everything I've done since I've started Dash Off-Road has been transparent. It's turned into a value. So I feel like I can show you guys the development of all these products that are coming through, and chances are you say, hey, did you think of this? Do you want to do that? And even over the trip, I was talking to some people and they said, oh, why don't you put a jacking point underneath the lower control arm? Because these cars are hard to jack up with a factory jack, or if you've got them lifted, you've got to lift them that high. It's dangerous to get them off the ground to get a tyre off. So yeah, I reckon number 4 prototype, if this all fits up nicely, I'll put a jacking point underneath so your jack can almost like click and get good purchase, because at the moment it's a little bit haphazard. So there's other things we're developing too. I've got this great idea for, Ilya started the idea actually, with a tailgate mounted spare tyre, but use our roof rack and ladder system, mainly the ladder, to bolt the tyre to. I've just got to see if the struts are strong enough to push it up, or whether they need upgrading, or whether the TILs are strong enough with the motorised system. So next set of ladders that come in, I'm going to strap a tyre to it and see what happens. Because if that works, I'll get the Predator rear bar to go on, because that's alloy, weighs next to nothing. And that will save massive weight of me having like a steel rear bar, and I'll still get the departure angle that I want. So yeah, that's in my head that I'm going to play around with. There's other stuff like the 48-inch light bar. I'm still looking for these brackets. I don't know, there's bits and pieces everywhere that have been delivered over the last month. I just got to go through it all, and that's what I'll be doing over the coming days. This was one of my little things I thought I was bringing to minimise the gear that I had, and it was good. Like, this has got a heap of spanners. Well, I use all like the metric spanners. I don't use the imperial, so that's kind of a bit wasted. And the same with the sockets. I don't use the imperial sockets, but I use pretty much every other wrench and size, I reckon. That was good. But what it was missing was the things I thought about a little less often. Tape measure, Stanley knife, a screwdriver that I could terminate electrical systems with, my multimeter. Like, I didn't have everything that I needed. So I'm gonna have to have a good thing. Hammers, there wasn't a hammer. So yeah, I'm gonna have to rethink that and work out what's in this drawer. Nuts and bolts, bits and pieces. Oh, the amount of times I went over to Cliffy to pinch bits and pieces that we were playing around with. Cable ties, can never have enough cable ties. We're bringing more of them. And the ones that are, you can undo, because there was a few things I strapped in. Like Ilya cable ties the door of his travel buddy in when he puts like food in it, so it doesn't, you know, fly out as he's driving around. And it's just one that you can undo. That's the sort of thing I need to do. Lots of little things. Ratchet spanners. I wish I had ratchet spanners, because when we're, you know, doing that radiator and some other things around that car, if we have tight little places to get into, just my stubby ratchet spanners would have been great. So I've got to work out a way that I can take the tools that I want, but leave the stuff home that I don't need. And we talked about one other thing on this trip too. The amount of us that brought drills, grinders, and every other, you know, chainsaws, we really doubled up on a heap of stuff. And we had a quick chat before saying, all right, you bring that, you bring that. And then everyone brought everything anyway. So we could have, knowing that we're going to be in a convoy most of the time, we could have minimised a lot of the gear that we brought. You know, probably everyone brought a spare CV or two. I don't know if we all needed one. Anyway, as I'm hosing off the car here. So flares, total absolute winner. They saved the paint time over again. I'm very happy with them. These steps, okay, the bump at the front, that's a winner. I think we'll at some point change the design for that. But these tops, I'm not a fan. When we did get in the mud, these just filled up with mud, and it was like mud from there to there, and there was nowhere to put your foot, and I found myself jumping in and out of the car. Whereas if you've got no tops on there, you can scrape the mud off with there and it'll fall away or whatever. So next set aren't gonna have this top on it. Although they do look awesome. Just, well, I might offer it, but I'm not gonna have it on my car, put it that way. This hitch, that's going too. This is, sorry McHitch. The articulation worked well, but hitching and unhitching was a real pain. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong, but I couldn't get the height of the vehicle right or something, and sometimes it would let go, sometimes it wouldn't. If the car or van was on an angle, I was really nervous about it. I was always the last one to leave because I was stuffing around with this hitch, so I'm going to a DO35, and that's if I keep this caravan. As I'm going around washing this, looking at stuff, I still can't decide. Am I going to black this out? You know, with the Navas, it kind of matches. But I've seen other cars, like Gary's, blacked out. Looks awesome. All right, another thing I've got to sort out is a recovery hook. That, we used that in anger. It worked fine, but I don't want to do it again. TIL owners, I'm not sure what we're going to do, but we have to get recovery hooks on this car somehow. I kind of feel a custom wrap job coming on, to be honest. That's not too bad. Right, next order of business is to see how the whole Dash Off-Road project's going. So just come back, checking on stock up here, and seeing what else. We've changed this place up a fair bit since I left. Well, the last week when I did leave. Got these going as well now. And I've just opened the roller door here, and look what's here, the next prototype. Yeah, that box on the ground there is the full length Y62 roof rack, like purpose built for the Y62. So I'm going to get that out and have a look at it, and have a look at everything else around and see what we need to do. See how this has been going the last month without me being around. Here it is. It's a lot to put together, but that's part of it. So that's the wind deflector. Need that. This is what we've changed really, just mainly for weight issues. When you get to a full length roof rack like this, it's 45 kilos before you even put it on the roof. So we've kept the whole, dash up the front in this shape, but then we've hollowed it out. So we've drilled holes all the way down the edges. I'm hoping this doesn't make too much side wind noise, but otherwise it's just going to be even heavier again. So we've just tried to find ways to make this as light as possible. I've been speaking to someone who is going to be the lucky person getting this roof rack before you ask. But so we'll fit that up in the next week or so, see if it's all right, and then we're going to send this one and the other one off for some static load testing, and then we'll have the next Y62 sort of dedicated product ready to go. Bit excited about that. Looks good. The other thing I've been thinking about the whole way home, has actually kept my mind busy driving those 2,000 Ks, whatever it was, is this container. I'm committed now to hire like a customer service person, I think, for Dash Off-Road, and so they're going to need an office. So that's the next thing. This delivery container, like we've got the end third for pickups, deliveries, the next third Peter works out of for the non-Dash products, like suspension and winches, airbags, all that sort of stuff. But then this third that I'm standing in up here, I think I'll make like box it all out with timber, insulator, maybe even put a glass door at the front here and create an office up here, so we can hire, I don't know if it'll be full time, but a customer service person, so someone on the phone, someone to be here for pickups, deliveries, all that sort of stuff. I think that's the next evolution for Dash. So the recovery points, bump stops, finally got bump stops by the look of it. They've taken a while to come in. All the co-gear stuff, road safe, control arms. What else is here? You see, we do Land Cruiser stuff too. More control arms, winches, heaps of winches, heaps of springs. Stock doesn't look too bad actually. Sort of fix up the lighting. Maybe get a better aircon system. Got a vat down here, but it's okay. Maybe a heating system for winter. I reckon we could dress this up, make it look alright. Alright, next order of business is food. This place, Anglevale Butchers, oh my god, their meat is so good. Now, so four-wheel driving was my hobby, and then four-wheel driving became my work. I ran out of hobbies, so I've taken up cooking meat, big bits of meat. So check this out, we've got this brisket. Ooh yeah. 5 kilos of goodness there. Oh, and some chicken wings. That's for today. So I'm planning a 14-hour cook with that little baby in a minute. I don't know if I'll do it tomorrow, Australia Day. We'll see what happens. But I'm salivating thinking about it. If you're in Adelaide, get your meat from these guys. So good. They've got no idea I'm doing this, but so good their meat. Right, time to probably go get some charcoal now. The meatitarians out there, this will be my 4th brisket. Last one turned out pretty good. It was like $100 or $100 and something for 5 kilos, which is kind of probably on the budget end, to be honest. There was some other Wagyu grade 9. It was like double the price. Like, is it worth me getting the better stuff? Now I'm starting to get a little bit more into this, or I don't know, is it am I just paying the money? Don't know. Anyway, the gurus out there, I know there's a few that keep messaging me. Let me know if I've done the right thing or not. I love the sunset, kinda. Big fires in Adelaide today. over that way actually. So all that dark stuff over there is the cherry area fires. Anyway, been away. It's so time to do a brisket. This is my smokehouse down here, or woodshed smokehouse. By the way, I'm getting pretty personal now, but the way that my house works, we try and be as environmentally friendly as possible. So all the water in our house comes off the roof, collected into those rainwater tanks, then runs through the house, goes down into this biocycle down here. Once it hits the biocycle, I don't know, some magical bio thing happens, and then it pumps around the perimeter to like the walnut trees, the fruit trees, all this sort of stuff. We've got grapevines, all subsurface of the lawn. That's why I've got a green lawn at the moment. And you know, it's a closed system. We also like to collect our own wood. Yeah, it's sounding very hippie right now. So I haven't been home, haven't used any water. That's why the lawn's a bit yellow. I'll fix that, don't you worry. But smoking time. There's a woodshed. We do collect our own wood for our wood fire. And I've got the smoker just starting to set up. So you saw that brisket that I bought earlier. About 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, I'm gonna get up, light the smoker. We've got guests coming around for about a 6 o'clock dinner. I've charged my lights so I can have lights out here tomorrow morning. And I'm an early riser anyway. So I'm gonna get up early, get this thing going, and hopefully the next video you see is my smoking brisket. Looking forward to that. Anyway, so yeah, charcoal, mallee, charcoal there. I'm ready. I've been gagging to do this for like a month. I'm on it. I'm gonna sign out. This is Dave Dash Vlog 26. See you next time on YouTube. Yeah.